Checking my audio. Checking my audio. Check, check, check. What hub? Maboika. Bienvenido and welcome. I am just checking in, see how everybody doing. Choco Fish, what's going on? What's going on, Choco Fish? Happy Labor Day weekend. Joker, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm chilling in the house, to be honest with you. I'm hanging out in the balcony. I want to go to the pool today, but I didn't do that. But maybe tomorrow, Sunday. I mean, we got, again, another 2 days of relaxation. So I wanted to dig that sax. Actually, yeah, that's an Arabian horn. Yeah. Yeah. I sampled that. I've been, sampling things. Having a beer and some smoke. Yeah, I'm having a beer. Not smoking, I'm just having a beer though. And nothing wrong with that. That's cannabis. It's good for you. Good for you. Yeah, this is a picture of me and my conga. This is when I don't remember what this was at. I think it was taken at the what do you call it? The Hard Rock at Orlando, the big amphitheater, the Hard Rock. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. The experiences of playing those big stage, Joker. Now that you're here, maybe we should speak about that. And I know you probably played some very big stages too. You know what I'm saying? Or you're inspired to do that. And by no means that doesn't make it makes you. And I'm gonna explain something to you. It does make you a better musician to play these big stages because they have a different acoustic to it. And so you have to be very, very, you have to be very cognizant of the acoustic and get some used to it. The first big gig, let me come on camera, man. Peace and blessings to you. The first big concert that I can remember that I did that kind of like rattled me a little bit was the House of Blues. The House of Blues. I mean, when I was young as a child with the Glee Club, I did do Madison Square Garden with all the public schools got together. I was in the Glee Club. Don't know what's happening out there. You're on stage, and I was young, little boy. You're on stage, and all of a sudden, you're just performing, but you're performing with a choir. That was all the public schools got together, and this was in New York City, Madison Square Garden. They had a big thing there. I never played the Madison Square Garden with a musical group or any act or anything. No. I hope to soon. But the first gig that rattled me a little bit because of the acoustic, again, was the House of Blues. Blessings to you, Christine. Tori, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, was the House of Blues. And what happened is, you see the House of Blues, especially the one in Orlando, underneath the stage, they have these huge speakers that rattles you. That's the bass, huge. And then, we have monitors. Of course, I had my monitor and, your side fills and your monitor. And you don't hear what's going out there, right? Because they got it pretty well organized. That's acoustical engineering, which is a field that I was studying. So I can do that. I know how to arrange a room so you don't get a lot of the bounce and acoustically prepare a room. But it took some used to, because when I heard the rattling under the stage, and then when I play, if you don't have in-ears, sometimes if you're using the stage monitors, it's like a delay for me, and I can't. I'm like, no, put me up. I wrestle with that, and I'm tell you something. If you're on stage with a group, your friend there's two engineers. There's one there's a house engineer and there's a stage engineer on the side, right? Because he's the one that controls all the monitors and your sound. Then you got the house engineer. He's going to control the sounds coming out. Your friend is that stage engineer, the one in the side. He's the one that's going to make you sound good. If you're a type of artist or musician that is very nasty to them, they're going to sabotage your sound. They're not going to listen. They're going to sabotage your sound. That happened to one of the artists that I played with. He was, and your stage manager. Your stage manager that's your friend. You want to make sure that you are nice to them. That you're courteous, and they know, I can work with this guy. That you're easy to work with. You know what I'm saying? Because they're your friend. They're the one that's going to make you sound good. So yeah, the House of Blues in Orlando. I played that a few times. I played that one time with an artist, Eugene Snowden, and it was very, very interesting because I didn't know that the curtains were going to open, and I was alone featured. I opened up the show, and you hear. I was like, "Yo, where did this come from?" So because the band Eugene Snowden and Umoja, it's like an African funk band. So man, when that stage opened and the light hit, it's like I'm by myself, and I'm like, I had 3 drums, 3 conga drum, and I did like a solo, you know what I'm saying? And then the band came in and bang, but I didn't know, we didn't rehearse that, so I didn't know that. So that but then when I was listening, when I was playing, I did have a problem, listening and stuff. Also, the Hollywood Bowl. The Hollywood Bowl is interesting because the Hollywood Bowl is one of the own. It's an amphitheater. It's outside, but a good acoustic amphitheater outside, and the stage moves. So I perform. Man, I should bring up the video, right? I performed there. Sheila E., Robin Thicke. I mean, a lot of artists. And I was playing with KG Amulo from Kenya. That album, I recorded that CD, and it did very good. It won some awards, like the NAACP Award, the Essence Award. It won a lot of awards, and Bill Cosby really loved it, and Sheila E. really loved that album. And she, she acknowledged and she congratulated me on the work that I did on that album for us percussion. Assalamu alaikum, Salim. You know what I'm saying? So that was an experience. But that stage moves, especially when, so I was playing at the Playboy Festival. Every year they had a Playboy Festival, and Bill Cosby was the host. I think after Bill Cosby left, Jamie Foxx became the host. But then while one band is playing, the other band is setting up in the back, right? And then, the Playboy Jazz Festival, that's right. And then when the other, when they're just about to finish, boom, that was crazy because here you have the stage moving, and then you start playing. Now they can't hear you yet, but the band is playing. We hear it on monitors, and then wow, it's moving, and you're like, oh man, this is crazy, man. And so that's a crazy stage, but the acoustic was very good. Again, those big stages like that, you got to get used to it because the sound bounces here and there. So I got endorsed for in-ears, and I got some in-ears, and that helped me out a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I love it because I reconnected with Norman Reed, the guitar player for In Living Color. A good friend of mine, Vernon Reed. We connected backstage. I got pictures with him and stuff. And then also, for the first time, I met Jack Bruce. Jack Bruce was a bass player for Cream, Joker. Yeah. The Hollywood Bowl does have an amazing story. But Jack Bruce was a bass player for Cream, I believe, the rock group Cream. Jack Bruce. Now, Jack Bruce was playing with Santana's wife, right? And Vernon Reed on guitar, and Jack Bruce on bass, Santana's wife, and I forgot who was on keyboard. But let me tell you something. That was like the musicians' music. They did amazing fusion, but there was no audience. No one came out to see them. No one. Yeah, Joker Fish, Jack Bruce. Man, that's bro. I took pictures with him. Great guy, man. We had some great conversations. We exchanged numbers and stuff. Really, boy, I think he passed away, but yeah, a really great soul. And so, but you know, when we played, it was packed, right? And then when Robin Thicke played, when we played with Robin Thicke, packed. Sheila E, packed. But when it came to this type of music, with Santana's wife, what's her name? I forgot her name. Carol. Like, nice drummer and nice lady. And Vernon on guitar was like killing it, and Jack on bass. But they were doing like a fusion jazz. Man, people didn't come out to see them, man. I was like, damn, this is the music. But let me tell you something. Musicians on the side, we were backstage. We came out. I went into the audience, you know, the seating area, and I checked them out, man. I was at odd. I was like, yo. And then of course I was picking up my buddy Vernon. You know, we come from New York, and we used to run into a lot to each other in the train. We spoke a lot because the music building. Yeah, Vernon's a nice cat. The music building on 30, what is it? We got 34. The music building was more like, it was down. So it was like 32nd Street and I think 32nd Street and 8th Avenue, I believe. I can't remember. But there was a music building where musicians, you know, bands brought lofts. There's a few music buildings in New York, but this is one of the most famous music buildings. It's right in Manhattan. And Madonna had a loft there when she was playing with her punk rock group. Gato Barretti had the top floor. A lot of musicians came by there, and so we used to get to. They had a cafe on the second floor. We used to get together and drink beer. Salud. We used to drink beer and chat. It's like a cafe, and then everybody wanted to come on the stage and jam out. You know what I'm saying? And you know, sometimes you got aspiring musicians that want to see a musician that they admire. Hey, yo, how do you do this? Yo, can you give me a nice riff? Can you, you know, so the conversation get like that. And that's the place to do it, because that's a cafe. You know, the musicians are more at ease, and yeah, they want to share things, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the music building, we had a loft. I think our loft, was on the 4th floor. Madonna was, I think she was on the 5th floor. But Gato Barretti was on the top floor. I think it was like 6th floor or something like that. Special access. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we gutted out the loft, and we soundproofed it. We were building a studio in there, our own personal studio. 3 of us musicians was from NYU, and the bass player was a leader who actually bought the loft, was an accounting student from Baruch College. So he was studying accounting. So he kind of had the finance. Yeah, that was the music building. And then the music building in Queens, interesting. I used to play with believe it or not, with a punk rock group. I had percussion with a punk rock group. You know, we were playing, and we was rehearsing because we wanted to play at, believe it or not, CBD. Man, I can't even pronounce it. CBGB in the Village, where the Ramones came out of. That's a crazy club. This was in 81, 80. That club, we wanted to play there, and I didn't know why, because when the band wanted to go over there and just hang out, because when you CBGBs, when you walk in, it's like they have a little like a gate, a little fence here, and then you got the pool tables on the top. You know, so when you walk in, then it's like a bar, right? When you walk in, the stage was a fucking plywood. It was not safe. I was looking at that stage like, that small stage, that piece of shit. You remember Joker Fresh? Right. That was and the bathroom was disgusting. All the right, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. CBGB in the Village. Yeah, it was crazy. That stage, I was like, and I could, yeah, punk rock. I played with a punk rock group. I forgot the name. God damn it. But it was very interesting. We did like a punk rock, and then I did the percussion. You know, we used to throw a little Latin thing, you know, in there. Oh, not yeah. The bathroom was crazy, disgusting, and the stage was right next to the bathroom, right on the side. And then you had the stage, which is just plywood. I don't know why they made that stage, but it was disgusting. And I was like, yo, I could not. And I told I never got to play in it, in that club. But I was telling the band leader, ain't no way I'm gonna bring all my percussion in here. Ain't no way, cause I got 2 drums plus a stand with a bongo, and I got a percussion table with all these bunch of miscellaneous percussion. Ain't no way that's gonna fit. Nah. It's not. So yeah, that was very interesting. And then with Rico Monaco, we played a lot of Vero Beach, and shout out to Rico. We played a lot of in the beginning to a lot of clubs where we're coming there, they're making the stage. They're actually making the stage. And also big festivals does that too. We played in a lot of big festivals. Rico, I played in a lot of big festivals. And with Gary Williams, a lot of big festivals. And then when I was playing with Howie Doro, Backstreet Boys band and Howie Doro, and we went to Argentina and to Puerto Rico, those are big stages too. And there I had a lot of problems playing like with the Backstreet Boy band and Howie Doro, because the screaming. Bro, if you don't have in-ears, and I just had monitors, I didn't have in-ears at that time, it was like constant screaming. The women, it was hurting I was like, yo, I couldn't hear. It's a good thing that we rehearsed so I knew, my part, and I knew, and then I would just look at the performer, the artist, Howie Doro and the other guy. I was very good friends with Howie Doro, so he formed a band called the Wepa Band. And I used to look at him and his movement and whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of like, the only one that had in-ears was the drummer. I think it wasn't Dave Johnson. He had in-ears because he also played with a sequence. We played with a sequence also. Certain keyboard parts, because the keyboard player, the parts, because it's pop music. So, we were doing pop music. A lot of parts are there. And when you're touring, they don't want to take all those extra keyboard players, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I played some very big stages. My buddy did sound for the back. Oh, he did the sound? Wow. Yeah. Argentina, when we played there, we played for Habico Festival. It's the horses. There are a lot of rich people that are up there. And they it's a horse, it's a place where they do jockey, and they're a lot of girls riding the horse and jumping the whatever they do. And so they threw that festival. So it was back there. The one in Puerto Rico, oh my Lord. When we came in to go on stage, these girls jumped on the van and started and the van is going like this while we trying to get in. And the cops try to pull everybody and say, oh, yo, let them through. And the van is going, they're on top. That Howie, somebody back to grab me, was like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, you used to this, buddy. You used to this. I'm not. I'm a musician and I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? But bro, they were like, yeah. Hey, shout out. I want to make acknowledgement. My niece, who actually got her backstage and tickets to go to that concert in Puerto Rico. She's in Puerto Rico. She's a lawyer, and it's her birthday today. I love you, mommy. Happy birthday. Theo, always love you. When I went to Niagara Falls, I'm just talking about myself a little bit here, but I want to talk about something else though. When I went to Niagara Falls, and I stood there for a while, right? I wanted to get away from a lot of things. I played with the Thurman Brothers. Look them up, the Thurman Brothers. It's like a rockabilly band. They were inducted into the Hall of Fame in Niagara Falls. Shout out to you, my buddy. Great band. This is a family. The Thurman Brothers, as musicians, extraordinary musicians. Everybody in that freaking house plays an instrument, and even down. Excuse me one second. Even down to the father. Amazing. And let me tell you, One thing I don't know about the musicians up there. Yeah, like the Beatles. I don't know what thing about the musicians up there in Niagara Falls. I think it's the water, the light. They're extraordinary musicians, especially when the rockabilly. You know, up when Niagara Falls, country, rockabilly, rock. Them guys, they can play, bro. They're very, very. I don't know what it is. The air, the atmosphere. I don't know what it is, but they were inducted. I should have bring up a picture and something. They were inducted into the Hall of Fame in Niagara Falls. They deserve it. That family's been doing that for a lot of years, and they are awesome musicians. Yeah, rockabilly. That's some nice music, bro. Very, very energetic. And I play, you know, as a percussionist. One thing that got me a lot of that work, that a lot of them were like, wow, we never. It's because I'm able to adapt to many different music. And I play the rhythm according to the style of the music because I know how to find the core of it. And then I do the percussion and I be myself, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Let me lower this music a little bit. So let me see what's happening in YouTube. A lot of I haven't been keeping too much. Let me lower this a little bit. I haven't been keeping too much with the what's happening on YouTube. You know, discussion. I've been missing K Solo, stuff like that. I haven't been keeping up too much with it. You know what I'm saying? And I know I get the alerts. To shout out to JJ, I get the alerts. I get the alert from SoundNet. I get the alert from a lot of those content. I had to step back, you know, because, you know, I don't want to stress myself out too much. You know what I'm saying? I have fun on K Solo because I get to let it all out. You know what I'm saying? So that's fun. And stuff like that. Well, Labor Day. Now let me ask you a question. Maybe you're those in chat. So, Labor Day. We're celebrating Labor Day, right? Does that also celebrate women's labor when it comes to, you know, mothers having children, you know, laboring in the hospital? Also, maternity, taking care of children. I labor. I have to run after 2-year-old all day long. That's labor? Or is labor also synonymous with slavery? What are we celebrating? And that thing about you can't wear white after Labor Day, if somebody can educate me on that, I wonder why. It's not that, you know, I'll subscribe to any of that. Yeah, you know. But, you know, those are things that I question. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not too big on holidays. Let me tell you, holidays are commercial. It's, you know, you see a lot of advertising. Valentine are commercials. Now you're into business, then yes, get into holidays, learn about them, conduct your business around that. You know what I'm saying? You know, the specials and the coupons, whatever, around those holidays, because it's commercial. It's not really it's a holy, it's gonna put a hole in your pocket. That's why I say holy day, holiday, holy day. Yeah, hole in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And if you work for something, you take a bow. Oh yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? And not that I don't, you know, I'm not ungracious. You know what I'm saying? I wish people Merry Christmas. I wish people happy Valentine. I wish people happy Labor Day and all that stuff, because that's a matter of being gracious. But I'm not, you know, there's some people that go all the way. I mean, they're gonna go, wow, this is the time for, and I understand you got a long weekend and you go with barbecues and picnic and all that. So, but some people get the sparkles. They make it a festivity. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's what you do. And stuff like that. But, you know, understand it is commercialism, as simple as that. So anything interesting here? Anybody wants to say anything, they could come in. Let me see. Yeah, lately I haven't even been getting on on that other site. It's been boring, man. It's into the same shit. After a while, it gets addictive, but after a while, you say, I need a break. You always need a break. You know what I'm saying? You always need a break. You know, I took a break from actually discussing certain things on my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? I took a break to see, but now being a little more social and stuff like that. But like I said, anybody have any ideas, any subject that we can explore together, and build on? Hit me up. Hit me up on my. Okay, you can hit me up on my email. That's my email right there. Okay. And if you want to come in, you can come in. Yep. Also, if you need to donate, there goes a Cash App underneath there, strolling. And let me see. So, many things, I don't look at the news. I'll be honest with you. I don't look at the news. I think that the news is a little pushing a certain agenda that they want you to always be in fear. I think that fear it could be either good or bad, because the fear of not having something should drive you to go after it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I fear not having a place to stay, so I gotta work. Man, I gotta get a job, or I gotta work, I gotta make money. I fear that I'm not gonna have stability no more. You know what I'm saying? I fear the loss of that I love because I'm not acting right. That can help. You know what I'm saying? But there's another type of thing in fear where you get frozen. Almost like paranoia. You're frozen. You know what I'm saying? You don't, in other words, I'm afraid. And that's like being afraid. That's when it changes. You know what I'm saying? That fear. Fear can either drive you to survive, or it can stop you from survival. Here you are on the road, you're surviving, or suddenly the fear of something that you think is going to happen, is almost paranoia and afraid, comes in, boom, no more fear. So I don't subscribe to that fear the Lord. What does that really mean? You know what I'm saying? And the Lord, what is that? Like a landlord? You fear the landlord. You know what I'm saying? If your finance ain't right, what on earth is this stream about? Well, I could tell you, Joseph Josh, right now, where, I am just hanging out. But usually this stream, I do a lot of metaphysical, you just got to go back to the other type of, to my other streams, and you see that we touch on certain things. So I'm talking about fear. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. The stream is about natural nature, right? And in natural nature, you know what I'm saying, we have experiences, and in those experiences, we're talking about that experiences of survival, and how fear, if you had looked and have viewed the other streams, you know that I've taken the energy center. When it deals with survival and fear, that's the root energy center. Your other schools of thought will call it a chakra or the sakam. Okay, who do you fear? I fear itself. I don't fear anyone. I fear itself. But that's why I mentioned, Joseph, about fear the Lord. Now that can be taken to mean many different things. If you say, I fear God, right? That is, if you use the word fear God, what you're saying is that you're frozen. Now, that's another principle, because if you read The Prince by Machiavelli, it tells you it's better that someone fears you than to love you, because if they love you, they're always gonna, trespass. They're always gonna do things to hurt you. But if they fear you, they won't. You see, that's the same thing with that biblical quote: fear God, fear the Lord. Now, the Lord can mean landlord. If you're not, you're gonna fear God if your shit ain't correct. You know what I'm saying? If you got so much baggage and so much shit going on, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna have fear. Let me bring in Joker. What's going on, Joker Fish?
Chilo.
Yo, man, what's going on, Papa?
I want to have a beer with you, my brother.
Hey, yeah. I was answering Joseph Josh. He wanted to know what the stream was about. You know what I'm saying? What on earth is the stream about, and who do you fear? and I tell them it's not who, what, where. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But when you say who, I don't fear any person. I don't fear a person. I don't need to. You know, I'm afraid. You could be afraid of some people. Like, you know, go. What you say?
Look, fear is natural. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a rabbit. Like you see the rabbit and he goes, "Oh no!" But the difference between fear and being afraid is you can conquer your fear. But if you're afraid, you're gonna be that rabbit forever.
Well said. Well said. I love that. So I hope you got that, Joseph Josh. Yeah. To be afraid, it's different. Or paranoid, that's a totally different thing. Yeah.
You know, we all have to conquer fear in our lives.
Exactly. Fear is part. Again, you know, it's part of that energy center. Like I
Natural.
said, it's natural because that fear can either help you survive because you say, "Man, I fear that I don't have nothing to eat, so I better go out there and get it." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or, you know, that fear could stop you from, I want to go and get something, get it, but I fear the other, you know, I fear other elements in nature that's gonna, you know, stop me, you know.
Yeah,
So,
and even like, you know, like you could have a fear of, oh man, I want to go for it, I want to get this job, but you know, I'm afraid because you know A, B, and C. Well, that's when you got to conquer that fear.
Yes.
You know, because I've known a lot of guys that were amazing musicians in the basement and in the studio, but you put them on stage, they just I can't. I'm afraid.
I saw that before.
Afraid.
They freeze up,
And it's like, let it go, brother. You know, we all get scared. I mean, you know, CeeLo, you get that stage fright before you go on stage, and if you don't get that,
That's
then
natural.
you're not human.
Yeah, that's natural.
You know?
Always that butterfly in your stomach and your gut.
And I heard you tell a story where they opened a curtain and the spotlight like hit you. Now I'll tell you, we were opening up for Dee Dee Ramone. He was the bass player for the Ramones.
Mhm.
So, and we were like direct support. So we're on, and there's a curtain right in front of him, you know, and all of a sudden the curtain opens up
Mhm.
and I just see a sea of people, and then the lights hit, pow, and you can't see nothing.
Yeah.
You're blind. And then you're like, uh-oh, you know, but then you know what? That's when
The inner.
that's when your muscle memory, your
Right,
practice,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
again, that's
Your
the fear. Conquer
in that
the
inside.
fear.
Yeah.
You know, you have to conquer it.
Yeah, Joseph Josh, being afraid is not natural. You got it. You got it wrong. So because he said, so if it's natural, it's a right to be afraid. No, like Joker Fish said, it's a difference between fear and being afraid. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference of that, and you know, fear is false evidence appearing to be real. You know what I'm saying? False evidence appearing to be real. You know what I'm saying? You haven't conquered, you haven't understood, so you can't survive. Being afraid is just going to stagnate you. It stops you. That's being
hold
afraid.
You back, my brother.
Right.
Hold you back.
It holds you back. Not fear. Fear can stimulate you to do something. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I hope that Joseph Josh understands that.
It's about conquering your fear. Because
Right.
we're all afraid, my brother. We're all afraid. I mean, imagine like an astronaut that's being blasted off into outer space. That dude's got to be a little nervous.
No, look when we're born. We're coming into a whole different world when we're born. Don't you think that a little baby? Don't you think you, as a little baby, coming into this new experiences, and you start shaking and crying? You know, like that's
like you're seeing shit for the first time. You're like,
first
whoa.
time. But then
Who's
what
that guy?
happens? Yeah, but then what happens when the mother puts you on her, and you feel that warmth, and you get used to it. You get used to it.
You know what it is? That's a crazy example because like you're sitting there like a baby is in the mother's womb, being protected, like just, with the, and then all of a sudden one day they're like, all right, out. And then you're like, wait a minute, who's this guy? I don't know him.
Yeah.
But then, when the baby, they say then the baby recognizes the mother. once they feel the heartbeat, and once they feel the,
and
you
taste
know,
yeah, teta. Yeah, yeah, you know.
you know,
So
'cause
we can,
when that baby first gets held by the mother, then you know, even like a few days and weeks after that, when the mother holds that baby and that heartbeat, that baby recognizes the heartbeat.
yeah,
You know,
and for the rest of their life, you know, as they're growing, whenever they feel a little afraid or something that they're not used to or recognize, what do? They run to the mother. They're gonna seek to find that mother embrace, you know, and make them safe. You know what I'm saying?
right?
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we all come into this world like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. God bless you. Okay, Joseph. God bless.
You know, and then, you know, probably it's a good thing we don't remember that, because it would be very shocking.
Some people don't, but if you do like transcendental meditation, you can actually experience those feelings.
You know,
And when
I
you
heard of
experience,
that.
you could learn. Yeah, you could learn.
I heard like now transcendental
transcendental meditation,
and that's
going beyond meditation, going beyond.
now like the philosophy. Is there like a text that is written about it, or is there?
There's books, but I'm reading the nature. Like I like to study the nature.
Right.
That type of philosophy now Valley, because it opens your mind, and then when you translate, you go beyond, because what's beyond is unseen, really. Right? I always say that we come from that unseen, and then we become seen for a prescribed time, back to the unseen in death. So that going beyond, and then when you meditate on that, and that's again blackness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because in blackness, in space, all the possibility, everything that can exist is there. You know what I'm saying? So you have to use your imagination. Transcendental meditation is a lot of imagination being used. You know what I'm saying? And then you follow those thoughts of reasoning, and
go with it.
And go with it.
Just go with it.
And just let flow with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, ever since I've been a kid, Telos, you know, I would just look up at the sky and just be like, wow. You know, like, who am I? Who are you know, like, and I what my partner used this in one of our songs here, because we were just philosophizing one night, you know, the singer of my band, and I'm like, you know, man, I go, look up at that sky. I go, you see all that up there? I go, we're all specks in this world. It don't matter. You know, you want to be rich, you want to do this, you want to do that, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, look up there.
You know, are an artist. You're a musician. You're an artist. You understand the art of music, the art of that. You understand that creativity. That's why I love speaking with people like that, because when they get to I have that connection, that affinity, because we're like each other. You know, we like to think out the box, imagine, and look at the sky and imagine. Says, wow, look at all those stars. And if a star is the sun, and our sun has solar system planet, well, I mean, you look at those millions and trillions of stars, especially if you can see them, you're like, why can't there be life out there? And what's happening?
Exactly, man. And it's like, if I'm here, why aren't there people, other, everything going on up there? So whatever's going on down here isn't that big of a deal.
Right, exactly.
You know, and you know what else bugged me out when I was a kid, and as an adult, like, I love the ocean. I'll just look at the ocean and just go, wow.
The same thing.
You
stare into the ocean, right? You see, that's how you put your ego in check. That's putting your ego in check.
You could be
that's a world.
The ocean. If the ocean wants you, the ocean will take you.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
But
I've seen it. I experienced that when I was in Puerto Rico. My uncle took me to the beach, and those currents was trying to pull me into the ocean. I was scared. Talking about being afraid. Oh man. I was like, nah. And I'm over here digging into the sand. And while the currents,
come on, you.
Yeah, you fighting, for your life. You know what I'm saying? And my uncle did that on purpose. I said, fight for your life, bro. And the ocean was teaching you, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? Let me tell you something. You think you're strong, go in the ocean and get tossed around for a minute.
Yep. Take you out of balance and stuff like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and it's funny because we're so technological right now. Everything's technology. But
Fourth industrial
you got to
revolution.
remember nature, my brother.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
you know, that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key to everything is nature.
Yeah. We went from that. Remember at one time, I don't know how old you are, but at one time everything was mechanics. That's that other industrial revolution, mechanics. Everything was mechanical. And that's when they started introducing things like the robot and the Jetsons.
Oh yeah.
Everything was mechanical. Now, man, we've seen the difference from like the 80s to the 90s, now to the 2000s, a change.
And see, Los, if you look at like you were saying, like look at how our society has progressed. We went from a farming society to an industrial. But if you look at the jump in technology between like the 90s and now, like imagine like 2000, we thought we was going to be in flying cars. Mm-hmm. But now look at us. We're on little phones and like we're almost there.
Walking around with a computer. Yeah, we're walking around with a
like
computer.
People have all the information you could possibly want in their pocket nowadays.
Yeah.
Type of anything, ask a question about anything. Say, yeah, well, how do I plant?
Yeah, Google has taken over. Google and Apple. These children, they don't come out saying Gaga anymore. Now it's all Google. You know, I got a 2-year-old. She takes the tablet. She navigates to that tablet and like nothing. And then my 13-year-old at that time, he had an iPad. At 2-year-old, they navigate to that easily. Where
crazy.
I had problems. Yeah. And I had problems. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
but you know, if you look at the shift in technology, it's kind of overwhelming.
It is.
You know, no. You think about it. Let's talk music. You remember going into the studio and you record on tape.
Yeah, 4-inch tape down to the 2-inch.
And go back and they'd have to cut tape and
cut
now
it
right
with the
computers doing everything. Say, oh, don't worry about it. We'll just. You know.
Yeah.
It's
I right now. I'm using BandLab because I messed up. I messed up my my Apple, my laptop. But I had GarageBand and Logic, and yeah. I mean, I can record in a condenser mic, a cheap mic, right? Condenser.
Yeah, man.
And just put in a Sennheiser, a very expensive mic sound on this little condenser through that and apps, you know, interfaces.
Yeah.
In the program, and I'm like, wow, look at this. You know how expensive are those mics in the studio and stuff like that? Oh man.
Oh yeah.
And then you could just do this.
You know, I've been in the studio and they come out with cases and they're like, and they're very like, and they put the mic up and they're like, don't touch it.
Yeah.
You know, and then they put the spit shield over it and they're like, don't touch nothing.
Yeah. I've been to some very nice studios, man. You know,
but you know
Electric Lady Studio.
So wait, that's Jimi Hendrix right there.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix was in terms of music technology was a very ahead.
You know, I've been a Hendrix fan. You know, playing guitar. If you don't like Hendrix, then you don't got a soul.
You don't have that extraterrestrial soul because he was an extraterrestrial.
Because that was on A Street.
This world.
Electric Lady was on A Street in the village.
In the village.
Yeah, and I remember peeking through the window one time, and they had like.
Oh, how can the little window like that?
They had like a little window, and I'm peeking in, right? And I saw like these. It was glass, and in the glass was like Jimi Hendrix. Like they scribed it in the glass. And I was like, I would love to go in there one day, but I never got the.
They still have those old knobs. I don't know if they took them out, but I know when I went there, and that was like in 1980 and 81. They had the consoles, and they had like what they call amps, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Interfaces, still with tubes because those are the best those are the best two interfaces that you can use when you tube.
Gotta
your
have
music.
tubes, man. Tubes.
And they still
Form.
have. I don't know if they still have them now, but I know back then they had the tubes and the knobs that you click, click, click. Knobs, like you know, when the television knob and you click.
Oh yeah. When you were a
had
kid, you're like
knobs
tick,
that.
tick, tick, tick.
Tick, tick, tick. Yeah.
And that was probably, and that was probably the same equipment Jimmy used.
You know,
That's
you ever
crazy.
heard this? You ever heard the story that he invented an instrument that can that the tones are, you know, they say extraterrestrial tones, that the tone, those overtones. So he created an instrument. Yeah, the patent for it, and I think that 2 Chinese girls have the patent to that, and I believe that patent and that technology was used. You ever heard of the Dream Machine?
No.
The Dream Machine back in 80 something when Stevie Wonder recorded Songs in the Key of Life. Listen to that album, Songs in the Key of Life. It was performed on the Dream Machine. And even the violin, the orchestra was Stevie Wonder playing, but it sounds so real. That Dream Machine, the sound, the technology, that keyboard costs Yamaha, I believe, made it, and it cost like $2 million.
Are you kidding me?
$2 million. Stevie Wonder was one of the only one that had one, and some Japanese artist in Japan. And that machine, as a matter of fact, Stevie Wonder actually made they did a documentary, and he was showing that Yamaha Dream Machine and the sound, and I believe that technology in there, because you can create other sounds that are just like extraterrestrial sound, because Stevie Wonder has some crazy sounds in there.
Yeah, he does.
And I believe that technology came from Jimi Hendrix.
You know,
from that patent.
I mean, I would love to hear the machine itself.
It's
just by itself.
Amazing.
And you know, I wouldn't be surprised, because Jimmy was, you know, even Les Paul, right?
Of course, Les Paul.
He invented the 4-track recorder and all that.
Yeah, Les Paul. That's right.
The legend is that
great
Les
guitar player
Paul,
too. Les Paul, great guitar, jazz type of guitar.
And him and his wife, Mary Ford.
Yeah. Wow, you know. But
man.
Les Paul.
That's my deal, is the whole music. But anyway, so Les Paul and his son, they had some tracks that they had to bring down to a studio in New York City. Mm-hmm. So they stopped off. Now, they lived in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And so they're driving to New York, and they stopped at some, roadhouse where guitar players and musicians would play. Mm-hmm. And they went in there and they saw Jimmy. And Les Paul said, wow.
Is that when Les Paul also complained about later on that Jimmy used to take the in the back, he used to take that metal plate out?
No. This is before that. Okay, because Jimmy would use this Strat. So what happened was Jimmy was just like a guitar player trying to make it. He played with Chuck Berry. He played with
Isley Brothers.
So he was kind of doing his own, like, hey, I'm Jimmy and I'm just going around the country playing roadhouses. Mm-hmm. So Les Paul and his son, they had to go to New York City to drop off some tapes that they made.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they said, and they asked, they're like, oh, we're going to drop these tapes off. We're going to come back and talk to this guitar player. Right. And so they drop the tapes off in New York. They do their thing. They come back. They stop back at the Roadhouse, and Jimmy was gone. And they're like, where's the guitar player? And they're like, oh, people didn't like him, so he left.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to this. A few years later, Les Paul is listening to the radio and hears Jimi Hendrix playing. It says, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And because Les Paul because Les Paul, he used to have every Monday night he had a residency at a club on Broadway.
A jam session. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody would go in. Like, you could see Eric Clapton there, you could see Jimmy Page, you could see Ace Frehley from Kiss. Like, people would just come in and jam with them. And you know what? You could go up to Les Paul and talk to him and get an autograph. You could bring your Les Paul guitar and he would sign it for you.
Nice.
Man, and you know, like to us musicians, Les Paul is like, you know.
Oh yeah, he's an icon. He's an inventor, an icon. Yeah, and then yeah, especially to guitar players. Very, very, very an icon to guitar players.
I grew up around folk music. My parents was like real into folk music,
and
they was into the folk scene.
Yeah.
So I got to be around a guy named Pete Seeger.
Oh, I don't know for Pete Seeger. What are you talking?
Banjo player.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, he was like he's from like the 1950s, and he was like a very well known folk musician. So I got to sat at the feet. I sat at the feet of this man.
Nice.
And he's playing his banjo and singing songs, and he let me sing with him. And I got to actually go on stage twice and sing with this man.
Yeah.
And you know, I was hooked on music as I remember, you know, just being like a young child and saying, I want to play guitar.
You know, I made an announcement that the Thurman brothers got inducted to the Hall of Fame in Niagara
the Rockabilly Boys.
Yeah, I went in Niagara Falls. I met a lot of banjo players. Oh, extraordinary banjo players. And yeah, it was called Americana music.
Yeah, well, you know,
who's that Americana artist that we used to listen to a lot?
You know, nowadays it's kind of wacky. See, everything's like messed up. But I can tell you, like classic Americana.
Yeah, classic Americana. It's,
you know, you have like, you know, your country guys like Hank Williams, Willie Nelson. You know,
there was an artist that I kind of love, man. He had some.
But
really
see, CeeLo, there's a bluegrass music.
Bluegrass, bluegrass.
That's mountain music, you know, and they got the banjos and the fiddles, you know, like the and I sent you a tune. It was by the Grateful Dead. It's a Grateful Dead song, but it was done by this group Los Lobos. They're like.
Oh, wait a minute! You sent it on my email?
No, I just sent it to the Facebook Messenger.
Oh, the Facebook. I'm gonna check it out. I honestly.
And because it's a Grateful Dead song, but these dudes Los Lobos do it, and they got the
Los Lobos. Los Lobos is nice. Yeah, the Los Lobos.
Oh, you know Los?
I
I'm
love
a
the
huge Los Lobos fan, man.
Yeah, Los Lobos. There was another artist.
You know, they're like Texas dudes.
Brothers. Yeah. They had a big hit. I forgot their name. Ah, damn it. Yeah, I love the Lobos music. Great.
A lot of that Texas music's real good, man.
Yeah, that's why I like the movie. You know, I like the director and movie producer Roberto Rodriguez when he does a lot of movies like the Mexican and all that. He uses a lot of that, you know, style of music, and I love that.
Well, a lot of the stuff I like to play is that like Stratocaster, Fender amplifier, Surfer, or like Cowboy, you know, that like Spaghetti Cowboy.
Yeah. I love it. So does that require that you take that plate from the back and just play open?
Okay, you know what I did is I took my plate off, and you know, Stratocaster, you got for the tremolo, you got springs in the back.
Okay, right, the springs in the back. That's what I'm saying.
So I had 4 springs in the back of my guitar, and I had 5 springs in the back of my guitar. I took 2 out.
Wow! And you take the springs out. Wow.
Yeah, you pop them right out. So I took 2 because I didn't want it to be so tight. You know, because I didn't use the tremolo in the band I was playing.
Right.
And so I needed the bridge to be a little looser.
Interesting.
But because it was so tight. But when I do put the tremolo on, if you have the 5 springs in there, it's like, you know, like you're pushing, you know, like. So if you take the 2 springs out, it's a little looser. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Jimmy did. He would take the plate off the back, fuck with the springs.
Yeah.
You know,
and
just
then the
leave
feedback, and then have the frequency, the feedback from the you know, play around with that. Yeah. Create that distortion, that feedback distortion. Because that's how he played. You know, that feedback distortion was kind of like the tones and notes for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he would use his distortion. Yeah. And you remember, he had his guitar flipped. He had a righty guitar flipped over to be a left. So his strings were,
and they were tuned different to a different key, because a lot of blues and a lot of the Southern players used to tune their guitar to a different key signature, key tone.
Yeah, they.
I think B flat. I believe it was B flat, and tune it all into.
Yeah, they would drop it down like half a key.
Half a key.
You know, but what a lot like take Stevie Ray Vaughan. His guitar, he would put different gauge string. Like he'd have a 13, a 9.
Interesting.
You know, like so his gauge strings, and now try to tune a guitar with different gauge strings with the tension. So he had a, you know, his guitar was like, you know, it was worked on. His specific,
it was an expression of himself. He knew the sound he wanted to hear. You know,
my God, like
he wanted to say, I want this particular sound on my guitar. I'm like that with my percussion, my congas. I tune them differently, and when I play, this is a specific sound that I want. And if I don't hear it, I'm like, nah, I can't. Nah, I gotta tune it. I gotta tweak it. There's things that I gotta do to it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how do you tune your drums? Is there any way you can tune them?
Yeah, with the lug, and I usually tune it to the key of D. The D. I use the D as my main one.
Now, you have like a drum key. You got that like standard drum key.
Yeah, it's like a wrench.
Yeah, I know.
A half an inch wrench. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have your tools with you.
Yeah.
You know, I had a little bag when I was going on tour.
Yeah. You know the congas that you see today with that type of technology and lug was created. Was the one person that has the patent. I don't know if he created it, but I know that he held the patent first. Was Marlon Brando.
You were telling me, you were saying that on the other night, that like, because didn't you were saying like he dated like Maria
Rita Moreno,
and wasn't she a movie star, right?
Yeah, she was a movie star from West Side Story. She won.
I love that movie.
Yeah, she won the Oscar, I think, for supporting actress. She's a great actress, really great actress.
Absolutely, and you know what? They remade that movie.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty nice the way
and she's in it. She's in it.
Yeah, as an old lady. Yeah. Well, Marlon Brando dated her for a long time.
So he hung out and just like because
he hung out in the Palladium and he hung down. So he played conga. He also played congas. You know what I'm saying? He used to like to go to these Latin clubs, sit down and play the conga.
And just learn.
Right. But back then the conga was either roped or was tacked, you know, like nailed.
Yeah, I remember. See, that's what I know about the congas. That's why I was asking you about the tuning, because I remember the tacks with the skin on top.
Right. That the way to tune those drums is through heat. You know, either they put it on fire or a heating lamp.
See, that's what I was going to ask, because like I was going to say, like, couldn't you put some like hot water on it or something?
Not hot water, just heat. Yeah, heat. And you know who also? And I got a picture of it, man. I gotta load up some pictures on my desktop. Steven Seagal. I hung out with Steven Seagal. He's a guitar player. Yeah, the karate dude, the hop kilo.
Is he good
on guitar? He had a band.
Yeah.
He had a reggae band.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he used to play. I think he had a club in Jamaica, and he spent time in Jamaica with his band, was a house band, and his band was a house band.
You know what? I would never expect that from him, because he's like in Japan. He knows like the sword fighting and the martial arts, and he's very, you know. Yeah. I wouldn't expect him to be a reggae fan.
Yeah, no, he had a reggae band. They were trying to get a record deal. Yeah, so and he hung that out in Jamaica. And he liked to play congas. So one time I came back from tour with the Backstreet Boys band. So Howie Doro, who I used to, you know, stay at the guest house and stay in his house, you know, in the guest house. We became
that guy? Producer, musician?
No, Howie Doro was one of the singers from the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, okay.
And right now he's a financial guy, the guy that's in charge of the Backstreet Boys. But that franchise. But I used to hang out with. So he brought into a club in Orlando, Florida called Taboo, right? He was part owner. So we're coming back from tour, and then he tells me, "Hey, you want to play congas with this DJ Cano?" I said, "DJ Cano, man, he's a good DJ." In the front lobby, when you walk in, because he had a featured DJ in the back. Like they would bring DJs around. I didn't know that the DJs were like, some of them are celebrities, bro.
I know that. I was like bugged out by that. I'm like, what?
So they would bring those DJs to do a special performance, but in the front in the lobby where you walk in and get your ticket to go to the back, there was a DJ there, DJ Gano, really, really good in Orlando, Florida. So he asked me to say, I think DJ Gano said, hey, I need a percussionist to play along with me because that's the way they do it in Miami. In Miami, the DJ sometimes plays, they'll spin a record and then they'll play percussion.
Yeah, they got somebody like, that's great. That's amazing. That's great.
That's a big thing in Miami. So they wanted to do that. So he asked me, yo, you want to play? I'll pay you $100 a day. Now, I did it like 3 days out of the week. So I made like $300 extra a week. Just playing.
They put you up? Did they put you up when you went there?
No. I lived in Orlando, and I used to.
Okay.
Yeah, and Howie used to live a couple of blocks away from downtown Orlando.
Perfect.
I could walk there. I would leave my congas there and just walk, and then I would leave. And after I'm finished, leave my conga there and walk back to the house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm playing in the lobby. Steven Seagal walks in.
Jeez.
He eyes me because they had a lot of celebrities used to come through there, like P. Diddy. Oh man, so many actors.
So Miami's a hot spot.
No, this is not in Miami. This is in Orlando, and Howie Doro's place in Orlando, Florida, and Taboo. So they will come and they're in Orlando. They'll come visit Howie Doro. They'll come visit the club, and so I'm playing there, and Steven Seagal, and he eyes me. He look at me, and he see me playing the conga, right? Then he goes to the VIP room upstairs. His assistant comes down to me and says, hey, Steven Seagal wants to play congas with you. And I said, Steven Seagal, he plays congas? He says, yeah, he wants to play congas. I said, okay, tell him to come on.
Right on.
Here comes Steven Seagal. He comes. First he touches my drum and go, oh, they kind of, you need to tune them up a little higher. I like tight skins. I say, oh yeah, you like tight skins. Okay. So we started laughing. So I'm tuning the drum and he's playing and we start jamming out. And then he says, bro, you're really good. I said, hey, I told Steven, man, you teach me a couple of moves. I live over there in the Howie Doro's house. You teach me, because we do after parties there. I said, you come, you teach me some moves and I teach you some congas.
Oh.
Yeah. So I used to work with this producer, Pat Armstrong, that produced the Motley Crue.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, Pat Armstrong was their producer and their lawyer. The Motley Crue. He did the first album for Motley Crue, and so I used to hang out in his office. Yeah, so Steven Seagal, he was trying to also manage Steven Seagal and trying to get him a record deal for. So they took a picture of me and Steven, and so he said, "Look, I'm gonna send this back to Steven. He's gonna autograph it and send it back to you." And that's what happened. And that's the one that as soon as I load up some pictures here. At a later time, I'll show you a picture that I have with Steven Seagal, autograph and everything, and you see him there playing with me. Congas. Very interesting. And I told him, hey, bro, you need a percussionist. I go to Jamaica for a while. I don't care. He dropped out. Yeah, Joseph Giles, I thank you. God bless. Yeah, thanks for the advice. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Anyway, hey, Tito Puente is watching. Tito Puente Jr., yeah. What's going on? Yeah, Tito. That's another artist. Oh, yeah, you back again. Okay. Yeah, you dropped out for a minute there. Yeah, on my Facebook, a good buddy of mine, Tito Puente Jr.
You're breaking up, brother.
Oh, yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah, one of my good buddies.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I can hear everything. Can you hear me now? I think it's in your end. Oh, okay. Yeah, shout out to Tito, mi hermano. We're just kicking it, talking about. That's another one that I went on tour with. I went to France. A lot of great artists were there. Hey, you back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I my phone messed up. I couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah. On my Facebook, I was telling everybody that my good buddy Tito Puente Jr. That's my brother. My good brother. I went on a tour with him. Also, we went to France. A big concert. A Mundo Latino, I believe the name was. Man, almost like 30,000 people.
The French love stuff like that, man.
Also, I did not know they had 2 FM radio stations in France. And I met a lot of Cubans, Venezuelan. Matter of fact, in the street, after the concert in the street, there's a lot of Brazilians. And then me and my buddy Dima Sanchez, we started, jamming with them in the middle of the street. Interesting. Yeah. And something. I was just about. Wow.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I grew up a lot around South Americans, Central Americans, Cubans, Puerto Rico. I grew up in the mix. And you just learn so much from people's cultures, man.
And let me tell you, in that Tito here, and I matter of fact, I even told him how I met his father, the icon.
Tito lived not too far from me, and Tito's daughter was the weather lady.
Yeah, she's
on the news.
On the news, yeah. I think
he used to play. Tito used to play. He had it all the time in New Jersey at there was a couple jazz clubs, and he always was playing. Well, check this out. I'm a student at New York University, so I'm hanging out. A good friend of mine, Danny, a very great drummer. So we were students at New York University. So Danny says, "Come on, I'm gonna take you around to these clubs." You know what I'm saying? And they're jazz clubs. To meet a couple of artists. Cause we're into music with musicians. He said, "You're really good." You know what I'm saying? Check out these artists. So we go to this club. I forgot the name. I believe the name was Jazzmania. It's in the second floor. It's somewhere in the Village or so. Yeah, there's a lot of jazz clubs in the Village. They got the Blue Note. It was right. But this was a jazz hangout. I mean, when you walked in, you would never know because when you walked in, it was a loft, right? The bar was a 2x4 plywood bar, and the refrigerator was one of them little metal refrigerator that only sold Budweisers. The can of Budweiser. That's nasty. And then in front of the stage, you had some nasty sofas. Like they threw just sofas that they must have collected from out there. Just, this is trash. This isn't a dumpster. And let me tell you something. The stage. Then the band. I walked in with a great percussionist named Batato Valdez. So I carrying his drums. I used to hang out with him. I used to carry his drums and I go on stage, set him up. Like an assistant for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, that's how you roadie. Yeah. That's what I used to do. I used to be a roadie. He's playing with an Argentinian keyboard player named Jorge Dalto. Jorge Dalto was an amazing keyboard player. I mean, wow, amazing. This man used to go inside the grand piano inside and play with the strings like a harp. The strings. Unbelievable performance. And this was a place where they were experimenting. So he's got his band there. Batato's playing there. Jorge Dalto. And I forgot who else is playing there. Mario Rivera on sax. So Tito's Puente walks in. Right? They set up his timbales and, I greeted him. Hey, Tito, what's up? We go to New York University. We're here to, assist you, whatever, and he go, oh, man, great. You studying? That's what he told me about his son. He said, man, I want you to meet my son. You know what I'm saying? I hope, later on, studies like that. So we were studying. And so Tito Puente, they set up his timbales. So I go to the bathroom, right? I'm there taking a leak in the stall. George Benson walks in. George Benson. He walks in with a white mink hat, and a white mink, all dressed in white. So he walks in, I'm over here peeing, and I'm like, oh shit, this is George Benson. Because I used to listen to a lot of, he had the album Breezing, which I was like, wow, great album with Ralph McDonald on percussion, who I knew from in my area. He was from Trinidad, I believe. And so I'm over here like, oh wow, and he looking at me smiling like, what's up? I'm like, oh, you're like, so then, pissing. What you doing? right. So I'm pissing next to George Benson. So we start, talking. He's telling me, yeah, man, what's up? I said, well, no, I'm a student. I said to everybody, yeah, I'm trying to make it. I was like, yo, I could play congas. I've been playing since I was 9 years old, and I'm a student. I'm going to NYU, and we want to get something going popping out here. So he told me, oh, great, man. Enjoy the show. So they start doing On Broadway with Tito Puente, Batato, or On Broadway with George Benson.
amazing. That night was amazing because it's like, again, free. They do, they brought in another percussionist, Ismael, from Cuba. Amazing percussion. Batato introduced him. He just recently came and boom. So this was the place like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I met him, Tito Puente. And I believe Tito Puente Jr., I met him. I think he was playing rock drums for, he was trying to, on a rehearsal studio. I met him there. And then later on, we had a mutual friend, James La Raza. James La Raza is crazy. He was a radio personality. I used to hang out with him in the radio station.
What station? What station?
La Mega.
Oh, okay.
Spanish station. Yeah. He had a show, like a Spanish hip hop show.
Okay.
So we used to hang out there while he did his thing. I'll be sitting in one of the chairs and we'd be laughing it up. So he introduced me, CeeLo. This is CeeLo's. We recorded the Funky 4+1 More first rap album or whatever. And we were just kicking it like that on a radio station. That was my good buddy. With him, I got introduced to a lot of things with James La Raza. Yeah.
But, and CeeLo, you know this as well as I do, but, if you want to be a musician and you want to go out there and do your thing, you got to go out and meet people and make your own opportunities. That's what I did. As a young teenager, I was out, doing my thing, met people. By the time I was 19, I was opening up for Dee Dee Ramone. I used to go loft party. I used to be at loft parties. It was like I was still in high school. I'm at like loft parties in New York City, But you have to go out there, and I know a lot of guys that they're musicians and they would bitch and moan that nobody give me an opportunity. Nobody's gonna give you an opportunity.
I always say this: perfect your craft, practice, study, protect your craft.
And that's what we did.
Right, and like you said, be social. When those opportunities come, you're ready.
We became friends. We became friends with some of the we were just starting out, and we became friends with the popular bands in New Jersey. And it wasn't us like kissing ass. Like, we played, we handed out our demos, and we said, hey, we're available to play shows. Next thing you know, we're on tour with one of the biggest bands from New York City. We earned it, but we also, because they liked us, but we had to make that opportunity for us to be seen where we could get that. And some people complain, well, I never got that opportunity. It's like, well, you didn't go out and make it.
Let me tell you two ways that I got that exposure and started playing. The first one was in I think it's 1978, right? I'm riding my bike. I moved to a new area from the South Bronx, playing with Cubans, playing conga. Knew the conga, the different styles. I studied under Justi Barreto, a great Cuban composer, great percussionist. You know what I'm saying? And so we moved uptown to Boston Road and Fish Avenue. So I lived a couple of doors down from Steve Jordan, the drummer, Steve Jordan.
Another name, Steve Jordan.
Down the doors, I used to jam out with Steve.
Now, who do you play with? Like, the name sounds very familiar.
Steve Jordan used to, when he was going to Music and Art, was a drummer for the Saturday Night Live band. Saturday Night Live. And then he performed, he did the Blues Brothers. The first album of the Blues Brothers.
I know. That's how I know the name.
Then he produced Sheryl Crow. He played with Sheryl Crow.
Okay.
And also, what's that? John Mayer. He's the producer for John Mayer. He's the one that play
guitar, man.
Yeah, he's the one. Well, he's the one that introduced John Mayer and produced this album. That's Steve Jordan. I grew up with Steve Jordan. I'm trying to get in touch with him because that's my buddy. But when he married Margaret Kidder, the actress, the actress Margaret Kidder, he married her. He left. He got into that Hollywood, all that stuff. I lost contact with him. But that's my buddy.
I lost some friends to that rock star Hollywood world,
So up this block, and then you had Orlando Wilson, something like that. Was a conga player for the OJs, and he recorded a lot of stuff for that Philadelphia sound. Yeah, he was a
Philly sound, man.
That's the conga. That's all.
It's all Philly. OJ's Philly, right? Yeah, man. Philly sound is great. There was a dude from my town, Silos. I don't know if you ever heard his name.
I'm sorry, I had to okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. But let me finish Joker before I
apologize.
Because we're doing some mixing on here. But so I started riding my bike a lot because I was so used to jamming. So I up there in like Fish Avenue or 222nd up in the Bronx, a lot of the buildings are like garage in the front. So a lot of these guys, the aspiring musicians, will open up the garage door and they will rehearse. You have bands. They will rehearse. There's a garage bands, right? You see that a lot in Queens, and you see that a lot in the Bronx, up North Bronx. So I hear this band. I hear this drummer. It's Errol Bedworth, Pumpkin, right?
Oh,
and, yeah, Pumpkin.
Get out, man.
I told him, yo, I play congas, bro. He said, yeah, okay. So I told him, I'll be right back. All I had in my house, Joker, believe it or not, was a freaking cowbell. A cowbell with a stick. I grabbed that cowbell, took my bike back up to that garage, and started jamming with the cowbell. Just with a freaking cowbell. Dumb brothers are like, damn, you can play that cowbell.
You're like,
imagine what you could do with some drums, with some congas. So then they got me some congas, and then I started jamming, and they were like, damn, I tell them, yeah, I grew up playing congas and stuff. So that's when we did the Funky 4+1 More and the hip hop with Bobby Robinson, so. The second time that happened to me, I go to this club in Orlando, Florida, right? There's this band playing, Rico Monaco band playing. That's the same band that we played with Sammy Hagar, open up. We became good friends. Right. He took us out there to Mexico, and we jammed out, Smash Mouth.
Cabo, took you to Cabo.
No, check this out. All that was there was a triangle, a fucking triangle. I did a solo on a triangle.
Bing, bing, ding, ding,
ever since then, he invited me to his studio, his rehearsal studio where he was rehearsing his band. And then when they had some congas there, and then he seen that I play, and I became, a member of the band, Rico Monaco and the Soul Sons. The first album we recorded was amazing. Then I introduced him to Tito Puente Jr., and then we started doing some stuff from that. But a freaking triangle, bro. So I'm saying if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. It doesn't matter if you fucking play with, when you slap the side of your, I used to do that a lot. Me and my uncle used to sit down on the bed, play slap, you know what I'm saying?
A lot. That's like those dudes that do the hand bone where they clap their hands.
Yeah, that's what we used to do.
You ever see them dudes take the spoons? They'll take 2 spoons and be like,
damn the shit out of that, bro. So like I said, if just especially whatever you got, express yourself, man. I have done, I had this Niagara Falls. When I went up there, I had no congas. So I started jamming on the table. This man saw me. He went and bought me some congas. Damn. And then I played in front of Niagara Falls. Congas made a lot of money. Yeah. And then I played with his son, Tim Andrews, who's a country guitarist who plays out there with the Kid Rock place. And bro, and the Thurman Brothers. That's what I'm saying. A simple table rhythm. Man, if it's, you know what I'm saying? If you're a guitar player, what they used to do with the rubber band.
You can give me 1 string and I'll rock the place. I don't care. I'll melt.
No, 1 string. I don't care, bro. It's gonna happen. And we used to rock. We used to make music with just vocally, you got the bass, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, like the old school doo-wop or the old school like scat music.
Exactly.
And then you have the guy going bo 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 boom ba da ba ba da boom ba da ba.
Exactly. So as a musician, if you like I said, whatever sell this. I don't know somebody. I got a troll on in here, but anyway, so yeah, that's all. Like I'm saying, wherever you come, you express yourself. You're a musician. if I ever mad, I say, okay, let me bang on the car. We used to bang on the cars, the hoods of the cars, and all that
All
stuff.
of us, man.
Like
I remember us
music.
as kids, like when we was mad at the teacher, we'd all start doing like
The table. Yeah. So if you want to, you know what I'm saying, get exposed, just be ready. Be ready to do it. Today, like my son likes to rap. You gotta be ready. Somebody freestyle, or somebody says, you know, kick it, do something, speak some rhyme. You have wherever you at, you
got to do it. You got to, you know what? Because I've seen people like, oh no, I can't do it now. And you're like, no, now's the time.
Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Just be ready to express yourself rhythmically or music, whatever, right there on the spot. Let me see what you got. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it happens.
I mean, I know vocals. I know a lot of singers. Like, I'm not a singer. I couldn't stand there going, hey, everybody. But, if you're a singer, you got to be, like, if somebody says, okay, give me an audition, 30 seconds right now.
No, you got to be ready.
You got to be ready. Because they do that shit. Okay, you got 30 seconds. Let me hear what you got.
Yep. You got to be just ready at all times. But listen, Joker, I'm going to get and do some work over here. I got to do some mixing.
All right, Silos.
Yeah, okay. So
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for dropping by, and thank you everybody else for viewing this. And us, to the next one, man. All in blessings to you, man. Peace.